So, you bought a Onewheel, whether it was scrolling down on YouTube, clicked on a video and saw that sick Onewheel ad, and you had to get one for yourself, or maybe your friend had one, and after that, it was all you could think of once you tried it, so you bought one. Either way, you're here to learn how to ride a Onewheel, and that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching you how to do. So without further ado, let's go. Alright guys, this tutorial is going to be for anybody and everybody, no matter what Onewheel you have, whether it's XR, Pint, Plus, or even Original. This tutorial should work fine for you. I'm not going to focus on a specific setting or Onewheel. So before we just hop right on, you got to know a few things about the Onewheel, just so that when you're riding you can adapt to that and know what's going on. Basically, in the middle we've got the motor, and that has what balances you and makes you go forwards and backwards, and that is actually inside the wheel right here, so right in there. And this back foot pad is where the battery is located. That's where you're going to put your back foot, but the Onewheel is multi-directional, so it doesn't matter which way you ride it, but generally this is the front and that's the back. So back foot here, and the front foot is where it gets a little different. This is where the sensors are, and when you put your foot down on this, it's going to sense that it's there, so when you go level, the motor can balance you and start up. There's one sensor on the left and one sensor on the right, and when both of those sensors are pressed down, that's when the motor will know to engage when you go level. So if it's not engaging and you just go down and land on your nose, you know that you need to readjust your foot or maybe get a harder soled shoe so that it can sense your foot easier. Now that we have all that stuff down, we can actually start riding this thing. Let's head out. Okay guys, so I'm outside now. I'm in my garage because it's snowing outside for us. But I would highly suggest for if you're starting out, go in like an open parking lot or your driveway or even a field if you want a little cushier surface. Just to note, the grass will be a little more difficult to learn in because of the bumpy surface and stuff like that. But anyways, the goal here is to get you up and riding confidently in 10 minutes. So the first thing, it's pretty tempting just to get right on this and go for it. And if you feel confident, I'd highly suggest just doing that. There's one thing that you need to know before, and that's how to get off. This is one thing where a lot of beginners have a hard time, and that's because they don't learn this before they start. So say I'm riding on the Onewheel, my 2 feet are planted and I'm level, and I get a little wobbly. The first instinct for what I want to do is to step off with one foot. If you do that, something like this is going to happen. However, what you want to do instead is when you get a little wobbly, you want to be prepared and know this so that you can jump off simultaneously with both feet, and then the Onewheel won't go flying forward. Okay, so you're going to want to turn your Onewheel on first. You can give it a little kick to check if it's on. If there's a little pushback, you know it's on. First things first, you want to put whichever foot is your back foot on, and then you're going to take your front foot and just set it on here, keeping in mind that the sensor is in the front, so you want to get it in a good position. And now what you're going to want to do is, instead of just kind of bringing the Onewheel up and trying to balance, you're going to just want to step down like you're stepping onto a curb, and you just want to get ready with your arms out to balance for the motor to kick in. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to push down, and you can see the motor's kicked in and it's balancing it for me. Just be prepared for that and you should be fine. Once you're up, you're just going to want to look forward, keep your arms out balanced, and instantly try to lean forward so that you get into motion, because something that's moving is going to be more stable than something like me where I'm trying to stay still and I'm having to balance. And you just want to keep forward and head in a straight line and see how long you can go. And remember that you can always jump off to get off. And that's basically about it. You're going to want to do that for the first 5 minutes or so and just get in the line, get comfortable with doing that. Then For the next 5 minutes, you're just gonna work on turning. And that's basically just gonna consist of leaning forward onto your toes to turn to the right, and leaning back onto your heels to turn to the left. And that's going to be a little more difficult and maybe a little frustrating for you, but if you take some time into it and you can ride in a straight line with a little time, you should get that. Alright, if you have any questions or want to ask me about something that I didn't touch on, feel free to leave those in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.